Good morning, CLC. Thank you for being here. Excuse me, I had to clear my throat a little bit. Thank you for joining us. We hope that you've had a wonderful week. We hope that you are ready for another wonderful week coming up. And we are glad we can be here to help you start it off. To join me right now in saying, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all the good I am and have, all the good I give and receive. I am prosperous now, and so it is. And now, in this moment, I invite you to relax, breathing in the cool, calm air, breathing out all that no longer serves you. Just let the tension melt from your body down into your chair or bed or floor or sofa, wherever you may be. You can also close your eyes at this time. Center your mind. Calm your body. Relax in this moment and know with me, universal love enfolds me. Universal wisdom inspires me. Universal spirit enlightens me. Universal power encircles me. I am one and all is well. As we begin the inner healing process, let me invite you to relax in quiet confidence, opening yourself to the miracle-working higher power. Now symbolize the unity of your thinking and feeling nature by touching your chest with your right hand, and let my words act as your own for your own inner healing, acceptance, and receptivity. I acknowledge that there is a power, intelligence, and wisdom greater than my own. I am in the midst of it, and it is in the midst of me, sensitive and responsive to my every thought, word, action, and feeling. I now make this true for myself by saying aloud, I acknowledge. Acknowledging the higher power working through my life, I admit that I am personally responsible for solving my own problems, while being guided and assisted by something greater than myself. As I am ready to surrender the conflicts of my ego to the wisdom of the infinite presence, I simply speak these words: I surrender. Knowing that forgiveness is the key to unconditional love and the feeling of heaven, I now unconditionally forgive anyone and everyone who has ever injured me in any way, real or imagined. And I now forgive myself for all of my mistaken judgments and their resulting actions. From my deepest level of understanding, I now say, I forgive. Realizing that I continually experience the effects of my own thinking, I now choose to allow this higher power to recreate me deeply, filling my mind with thoughts that are only constructive, positive, loving, and beautiful. I call upon this divine inflow by stating aloud, I choose. I now center upon that one special idea that I am willing to accept as real for me in this coming week. Visualizing the idea as already acted upon and brought to pass. In seeing my idea become a fact of my experience, I enjoy the happiness and peace of my thought fulfilled and gratefully speak these words: I accept. Knowing that I have an everlasting place in the midst of the power that sustains all creation, as well as the support of all those around me. I allow myself to relax in the peace of fulfillment and gratitude and say, I release. Now, in my mind's eye, I envision the presence of someone near and dear to me. This can be a friend, a family member, a teacher or mentor, someone who has touched my life in deep and loving ways. Someone who may not be physically present in the room with me this morning. I turn toward that image in my mind's eye and say, I am grateful for the good in your life. I now open my eyes, turn to the world around me, and joyfully speak to anyone physically present in the room or virtually on this broadcast, and share in gratitude and confidence in saying, I am grateful for the good in your life. Grateful for the good in your life. I'm grateful for
So I welcome you here today, and I got a lot to tell you. I realized I left off last week saying, next week I'm going to tell you. So I went to the video to remind myself of what it was I was going to pick up with. And it's about how to be grateful and how to forgive, and especially why to. And I know that the last thing on your mind right now might be gratitude. The last thing that seems, even though it's Thanksgiving week, the last thing it seems like the world is presenting you with the opportunity to do is be grateful. But it works. And I'm going to tell you why it works, give you some ideas for implementing it. And the title of the talk is Thanksgiving, So Shall All Be Served. And as I was looking at that, I thought, you can change, you add a comma, you can change the inflection, and it comes out as, so shall all be served. So shall all be served. We served yesterday 700 or 800 individuals, I would think. There were about 200 families, and you multiply out the numbers, and we haven't run the metrics yet, but it's 700 or 800 people got a week's worth of food from us. And a couple of people showed up at the end after we'd run out of food, and we referred them on to the next drive that started an hour after ours on Rayford Road. We were visited by Christine Marlowe, who's the president and CEO of the Montgomery County Food Bank. It's the first time that the president and CEO has come out to be with us, and she was in there pitching too. She was handing out food, and she told us a statistic that I want to share with you that's just unreal to me. The population, this isn't the part she told us, this is the part I looked up. The population of Montgomery County is 607,000 people the last time it was tallied up. The new census will have a newer number, but call it rounded to 600,000. Since the pandemic began, the food bank has handed out 8 million meals. 8 million meals. That's 13 times the population of the county. And if you live in Montgomery County and you have not had a meal given to you by the food bank, that increases the numbers somewhere else. It's unbelievable the work that these people do. And for her to come out with our 24 volunteers doing this once a quarter, not every week, certainly not every day, for her to come out and thank us for it and be in there helping is a huge thank you to the entire Creative Life community, and to Ruth Catalona, whose vision this was, and Carol Stromat and the others who've worked and led the team, and now Danielle, and all of us who are happy to be doing this. So I'm grateful I got food on my table. Are you grateful you have food on yours? Do you say grace? Do you know who G.K. Chesterton was? He was a Christian writer in the last century. And he said, you say grace before meals. I say grace before writing, boxing, traveling, sleeping, waking, dipping the pen in the ink. I say grace before everything. He believed in a state of gratitude. Gratitude is grace. The two equal one another. We think a lot of times of a distant deity who has rules and laws or has a path, for us that we should follow. And we should follow it because this deity has declared it. And God tells us you should forgive. And God tells us you should be thankful. And we're like, okay, I want to go along with what God has to say. That has never been sufficient motivation for humans to stick with it. In the moment when God is yelling at you, or you think God is, then it's like, okay, and you straighten up your act. And as soon as God's back is turned, right? We're back to being how we were, which was comparative rather than grateful, which might be resentful instead of forgiving, which might be filled with regret, So there's got to be a psychology. There's got to be a practice that we can undertake that's logical and psychologically sound for gratitude to overtake us in our experience. And so I came up with a little visual exercise for us to do. And I'd like you to picture, we're going to talk about you, the people you know, and the people you don't know. So think of yourself standing on a field, maybe a field of grass, or if you like the desert, a field of sand, or if you like the poles, a field of ice, but a field of something flat that extends all the way to the horizon, and you're standing there and you're looking out at this. Not another soul around, just you. Now a sense of gratitude is yours to call up. You have a head full of stuff. All your prior experience to that moment is present there with you. You're going to sort through all of that and pull out a sense of gratitude. Just try this. Just try this. Sense of gratitude. What are you grateful for? Worry less about what you're grateful for than just the feeling of yes. Just the feeling of yes, rather than taking the constant inventory that we do of ourselves. I'm grateful for my body. I'm grateful for my thoughts. I'm grateful for my feelings, my memories, and all this. Leave all of that aside for a moment and just go yes. Just go yes. Right now I'm all right. Right now there's nothing I need. Right now there's nothing I'm losing. Nothing's being taken from me. No demands are being placed on me. Right now I'm just fine. I'm just fine. And yes. And that's the feeling of gratitude. And there you are, just yes. Okay? A resentment from the old days starts to creep up, and you look at it, and with kindness and mercy, you say yes. Yes. Yes to life. And it drops away. Because what that resentment or regret wants you to know is about yourself. It has information about you, and you're indicating to it, thank you, message received. You can also do this with pain, but that's another story. That's another Sunday. So you say to this, yes, yeah, and you just stand there in the yes. You with me? All right, so you're just in the yes on this vast plain that extends to the horizon. Now here comes something. Suddenly, on the horizon, there's a speck. This is how stuff starts on the horizon, right? There's just a speck, and it's getting larger. It's coming slowly toward you. Is it a person? Is it an event? A circumstance? A condition? Can't tell just yet. Still you stand in your yes, and you notice that your yes is now extended from you to that something, that undetermined something. Your yes has created a loop around that something that unites it with you before you even know what it is. We might call that feeling expectancy, anticipation, even excitement. Ooh, what's this? I've been here alone on this field, and now someone or something is coming toward me. Yes, they're not to you yet. You don't know what or who they are, but you're still grateful. You're still thankful. You're still in the spirit of everything is fine. You see? Undisturbed. Now they come closer. Now you can make it out. And let's say it's a person. Let's say it's a person. Now you can make it. That's a human. They're upright. They're walking on two legs, and they're coming toward me. Yet still, I'm thinking, what are they bringing me? Are they bringing me news? Are they bringing me relief? Are they bringing me a meal? Are they coming to be my friend? Do they have an assignment for me? An adventure? Are they my mentor, my teacher? Are they going to take me off in some amazing directions where I get to explore something other than this field I'm on? All of this is going on in you right now. Not anywhere else. Doesn't matter about anywhere else. It's going on right in you. You are believing yourself to be a powerful, capable, creative being who deserves joy. That's what you're affirming to yourself as this being approaches. As they get closer and you start to make them out and you start to recognize them, well, that's where it gets kind of interesting, because maybe it's somebody you know. Maybe it's a friend. Maybe it's a family member. Maybe it's your beloved, you know. And so all of the feelings that you've had, all of the thoughts that you've had are justified. I was hoping they'd come along, and here they are. Isn't that great? Let's change the scenario. Maybe it's somebody you don't like. Maybe it's somebody who's caused you pain in your life. Still, because you have sort of marinated in the feeling of yes and joyous expectancy, they no longer pose to you a threat. It's like, oh, here's a chance to say some things or work some things out, or here's a chance to make a fresh start. Here's a chance to practice empathy and compassion and understand where this person is coming from. Here's a chance to practice, this is an expression I'll use again in the talk, merciful justice in my own mind, merciful justice toward this other. You see? Instead of, here comes trouble, and you tense up, and all of your bliss, all of your joy just kind of leaks out, you know, and now you're fragile, you're brittle. No, it's because you've stood in your yes. If it's a friend, yes. Your beloved, yes. Someone you've thought of as your enemy, yes. You're affirming yes, you're transforming the situation. And if it's somebody you don't know, and most of the people that you're going to meet in this life are people you don't know. You have, no matter how popular you are, you have a fairly small circle of people in your life. You know, I don't know, count them 1,000 or something. If you have Facebook friends, you know, how many thousands of Facebook friends? Do you know them all? You know, so most of the people that you're going to encounter, you don't know. When the 5 of us leave this place today, and we turn out onto Spring Stubner out here, we're going to merge into traffic with people we don't know. Once in a while, it's funny sometimes when I'm here, especially in the times when I've been here a lot, you know, during the week for classes and stuff, I'd be like getting the mail. The mailbox is out on the street side. I'll be getting the mail and the car would go by, hello, and there's somebody, and it's a Creative Life person, and I don't recognize them from the car, you know, just a hand at the window, hello, or maybe it's just a friendly person, I don't know, they just like to wave at people getting the mail, you know. Most of the people we're going to meet, we don't know. I didn't know a soul drove past us yesterday. Not a soul, you know. And their incoming experience and the dynamics of that were already set up. We were there to serve, they were there to receive. What the clients, didn't know is they were serving. They were serving us. They were serving us in ways that if we had started to explain this to them, might have been awkward, uncomfortable, or something, you know, perhaps misunderstood. Doesn't need explaining. Doesn't need explaining. That's the thing about circulation. We were talking about this in class the other night, you know, that when you give, somebody else has the joy of receiving. When somebody else gives, you have the joy of receiving, you yourself. Giving and receiving are the same thing. I missed the inflection on that. But anyway, giving and receiving are the same thing. It's two ends of the same stick, you know, and it's like, if it's more blessed to give than to receive, then I'm rendering somebody less blessed by giving to them? No. It's a circular process. And when I give to them, they give to somebody else. They have to. And sometimes we call our giving spending, but it's still giving. It's still all in circulation. But we'll come back to that in a minute. Right now, we're back on that field. I didn't want to distract us from this. So we're on the field. Most of the people you're going to meet in your life, you don't know. And so here comes now the speck on the horizon coming toward you, and it's somebody you don't know. Yes! You're bringing me something wonderful into my life. rather than incoming alien being, alarm going off. Notice that all of this is happening in you. It's happening kind of in the center of your chest. It's happening right, it's happening in your chakras. It's happening in your balance points. This is how I choose to feel. And I bet you do too. And it starts with a choice. And the only thing that can interrupt that choice is the insistence on suffering. That no, it can't be that good. There has to be trouble. You have to be careful. You have to watch out constantly, which is predicated on prior experience that's already passed. We write our own laws in this life. We make our own rules about how to deal with this life, and then forget we made these rules and laws, and we feel bound by them as though they were universal and absolute, but they're not. They're all subjective. It's all made up. If you and I will choose proactively, that is to say, while still observing just a distant speck of incoming experience before it's here, proactively, if you and I will decide to feel proactively grateful, we will transform the quality of our lives for good. And we will assist powerfully in transforming the quality of life on this planet. I love the image of walking through a world of friends I haven't met yet. I love the image of being around people who are looking out for each other and desire nothing more than each other's greatest good, while at the same time taking care of their own business, not fussing with everybody else's lives, not changing and fixing and rescuing, but with an eye out for, is there somebody around me who's less fortunate than I am, who's having a hard time right now today that I could do something for? Balancing that with taking care of myself, having boundaries, and so on. This is easier than we've made it out to be. It's really unlearning a lot of things about how we have to defend ourselves against the world. And I know that this is a big ask if you've been hurt. I know it is. And I honor your pain. But don't you honor your pain to the place where you follow all its rules, or it becomes overwhelming to you and it seems like you can never escape. You have thanked your pain enough. I have thanked my pain enough to now move in some new direction of gratitude and openness. Now, where does forgiveness fit into this? Well, you'll notice that the need for forgiveness is kind of subsumed under the idea of gratitude. If I'm grateful for my life, where did my resentments go all of a sudden? Where did the need? Forgiveness is a new template. It's a new frame in which you put the experience of life. Forgiveness has been called giving others free and unharmed passage through your mind. Here come the occupants of your past, and they cross your mind, and you're like, oh, yes, I remember you, yes, good, on your way, God bless, let him go. No piano wires strung up, no landmines, just go across, no harm to them. Everyone is going to experience, and is already in this life experiencing justice, merciful justice. There's a paradox for you. We get accused sometimes in New Thought, say, you people think you're God. You people think you're God. I'm inviting you to not think you're God for a moment. I'm inviting you to realize there is a power that's greater than we are, that is exacting a correction in the life of every one of us to the degree that it's called for, without the help of anybody else, including you or me. Do you see what I mean? Everyone is learning what they need to know to be a better them. They may not be doing it in front of you. It's the old thing about the person who drives past you like a maniac and you so wish there's a cop over the next hill. You You so wish that everybody would get what's coming to them right in front of you so that you could kind of stand back nodding sagely and say, yeah, I saw this coming. You didn't listen to me. But that's not how it plays out in life, because their correction is not about you. Everybody's getting something that's causing them to learn more about who they are, without question. And because that's true, you don't have to be the judge, jury, and executioner. So what are we instead? We offer a blessing. We offer grace. We offer compassion. We say, all right, you made a mistake. I've made mistakes too. I'm going to speak to the part of you that's never made a mistake, that's never been a mistake. I'm going to speak to the part of you in my prayer work that is, well, God incarnate as you, unaffected, unmoved, unharmed, undistressed. This is what I'm going to know. This is what I'm going to know about you. And in so doing, again, you not only affect, now we're going to take it the other direction, you not only affect the quality of life on the planet, you affect yourself. Every prayer is a blessing to yourself. You know, whenever anybody asks you, should we do a treatment? We call it treatment. Would you do a treatment for my prosperity, let's say? It's an opportunity for you to stop what you're doing and think about prosperity. Would you have been thinking about prosperity otherwise? Maybe not. Had other stuff to do. You stop and think about prosperity. Stop and think about wellness. Stop and think about love, you know? And what do you have to do then is not just think about it, but really drop into the feeling of it, the sense of the universality of it, that it's ubiquitous, across the landscape. Love is all there is. And you go into that feeling, you go into, it's like, what a wonderful opportunity I had this afternoon to have that knowing. Because this person asked me to have it about them. And that's in addition to the practice, the discipline that we've built up of having this knowing for ourselves when no one's asked, to just go into that feeling and have it on our own. And if you don't think this stuff is affecting the planet, I invite you to explore the planet more fully. Online at this time, but explore the planet, see the difference that's being made, see the consciousness raising that's going on. It's slow, sometimes it's glacially slow. Sometimes it even seems to reverse itself a bit, but it never goes all the way back to where it was. Always it's moving forward. We are one world. Where is it now? Over here. I always used to gesture. One world, one people, no fences, no edges, no borders, and we're learning. We're learning how to get along with one another here. Let's see if there's anything else I'd left out for you. So forgiveness changes the template, takes the heat out from under stuff, like out from under a pot of food, grants safe passage, acknowledges a higher spiritual justice. Picture yourself on that field. And say yes to yourself. Say yes. Affirm and know. The I am that is you. Affirm and know. I'm all right, just the way I am. That which I need is finding me. That which I prefer is finding me. Black Friday's coming up, the end of this week. We talk about Thanksgiving, then there's Black Friday. The Black Friday sales, is your inbox crammed with stuff about all of these sales? And there's stuff you might want for you, which now your computer knows by algorithm you want, so it's reminding you, right? And it's like, how does it know this thing? I saw the coolest thing I'd like to get. It's 2 drumsticks. Have you seen this? It's 2 drumsticks that you link to MIDI software via Bluetooth, and it plays 12 surfaces, 9 skins and 3 cymbals, I think, on any surface you go through headphones. And so you can practice drumming everywhere. You can be a completely annoying individual everywhere with these drums on chairs and stuff. And I think this is great. It's a couple of $100, and it's probably 15% off on Friday. That's great. You know, so we buy stuff for ourselves. Why I'm telling you all of this is the interrelatedness of all of us, okay? So there's stuff we want for us because it would be fun. It would be a great toy. And then there are things that we want for the party that came across the field that started out as the speck that's now the person that we know. And we want to include them in the yes, right? So the holiday gifting season is coming, and we want to anticipate the desires of other people. Maybe we've listened to them and what they actually would like to have, or maybe we're in the mode of deciding what they should have. And it's wonderful if you give people stuff that like corrects their behavior. They always enjoy that, you know. You know, here's a membership to the gym, or here, you know, here's something you should go, off you go, you know. And well, no, what really works better is let me hear you. Let me hear you. And so you can get your deals this week and beyond. And they'll tell you about them if they haven't already. And all kinds of creative things that, you know, have just come out. Many of them electronic and stuff. And then there's the stuff that you don't want or need, and they don't want or need, that in fact nobody needs or maybe wants. And you're going to be inundated with this too. Here's all kinds of stuff that will do things that you don't need done, right? Here are all kinds of things that relate to hobbies and interests you don't have. But why not get it now at 15 to 20% off? Because if you act now, while operators are standing by, we'll also throw in a second set of the stuff you don't want for only extra shipping and handling. We'll throw this all in. And you look at this and you say, wait a minute, I'm not stupid. And your eyes narrow, you know, and it's like, I'm not going to get taken in by this. And I'm not suggesting that you should, but I am suggesting this. All the stuff that you buy is made by people who are getting paid to make it. You don't buy it, they don't make it, they don't get paid, they don't have jobs, they turn up in the food line. Who's buying what you make? Who's lining up for what you have to buy so that you can thrive? This is how we're all connected. The economy of life is such that everyone is dependent on everyone else. And while you can go to extremes and send yourself into debt trying to buy enough stuff, and you can even rationalize it that I'm keeping a lot of people employed by acquiring all of this stuff, you know, and that's going to an unhealthy extreme. You can go to the other unhealthy extreme, which says, I don't need anything from anybody. When in fact you do. When in fact it's beautiful and it enriches your life and it enables them to thrive. And the last thing that anybody needs, practically speaking, the list of things in this life, the last thing, the things that anybody needs, practically speaking, are art, music, poetry, literature, theater. These are the last things anybody needs. You can't eat them, you can't wear them, you can't burn them to keep you warm, okay? But imagine a world without these things. On December the 1st, which is not a Sunday, a day without art is observed in memory of those who perished from AIDS. And it is typically done in galleries and museums and so on, that the art is draped, the art is covered, to represent the dearth of beauty that exists in the world because we lost so many creative people and are still. Imagine your life without these enriching things. And you see, you want to pay the artists. Artists are different. They're not, they work when they feel like it, and they have the creative impulse, and suddenly they spring into action, and then what they come out with is not what you expected, you know. And the writers and the poets and the musicians don't get up at 8 in the morning and sit at a desk to write music, most of them, you know. It comes to them in their sleep. It comes when it comes. But it's incoming information to them, coming to them actually over the vast field, where they could say, this could be an opportunity to fail, this could be an opportunity to show that I have no talent. This could be a huge risk. And instead they embrace it in a spirit of yes and say, this is a chance. If this involves my discovering skills and abilities I did not know I had, then I'm up for it. A spirit of yes. And so the whole world becomes enriched in this way. Finally, I just invite us all to walk through the week. I know, given the givens, given the circumstances of the pandemic as it's in and the world situation as we're experiencing it through the news and the noise and also just in our own lives, it may seem this year, this Thanksgiving, out of all Thanksgivings, it's much more difficult to burst into song than it's been. But it starts with a yes within you. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Let's go into that feeling. Let's go into that spirit right now. Yes, I am. Yes, there is one life. That life is source. That life is spirit. That life is all the life there is. And yes, I am the experience that life is having in this world at this time by means of me. Yes, I am. And that life is complete within itself. It's not finished, it's not over, but it is complete. It is a containment system of all beauty and all wonder and all joy. Therefore, on some level, I am complete within myself, and everything within me belongs. All my thoughts, all my feelings, all my impulses, ambitions, intentions, desires, dreams, all of it belongs. So I embrace it all with a yes. Yes, I am. And here you come. And I say, yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are the I am. You are the experience that Spirit is having by means of you. Same Spirit. Different quality of experience. Therefore, I get to meet the beloved. I get to meet the supreme understanding through your eyes and your voice, your hands, how you create and how you express, another dimension of it, another languaging of it. So, here I am, here you are. Now we turn outward and here come the others. Across the field, across the plain, across the wilderness, following a star. Here come the others. Same Spirit, same I am, in so many different forms, so many different tongues. The I am, the yes. And the yes just naturally, even effortlessly broadens itself out within us to embrace all that we perceive coming toward us. Now, where did war go? Where did hunger go? Where did poverty go? Because all of us together are feeding each other. All of us together are dealing honorably with each other. All of us together are funding one another in the economy of spirit. And so suddenly these things that seem like big global issues are being managed in a conscious way that starts with a simple agreement of yes. And we are in love with one another. And we are in truth with one another. And we are in simply wild creativity with one another. For this knowing, the way that it manifests in form, for this time set aside called Thanksgiving, this opportunity to turn within and reflect in humility and gratitude, I am so thankful for you, the Creative Life family, all who are watching. I know for you and yours all of the blessings of Spirit all of the good, all of the joy that you possibly could seek as yours now. And I call it done, and so it is.
Song. And I want to give you I'm going to call it a programming note. We use Zoom a lot here for the classes, and we had started doing hybrid classes, and then of course now we do all of our classes by Zoom. But I heard on one of the morning TV shows that on Thanksgiving Day, if you have a free Zoom account, because on the free Zoom account you're limited to 40 minutes, they are turning that limit off. They are turning that limit off. So on Thanksgiving Day, since we are being safe and limiting our, it cracks me up that they use the word pods, trying to make sure everybody stays safe and, limiting, and we can't be in physical person with our friends and our family. Zoom is giving you the gift of Zooming with them. So if you don't have a Zoom account, you can go get a free Zoom account. You don't have to get a paid subscription. And on Thanksgiving Day, there is no time limit. So just wanted to give you that gift as one way to get together with your family. And I know that a whole bunch of the other electronic platforms, there's many ways to do it. So you'll find one, I know. All right. Oh, wow. Okay. I did the daily reading today, and the daily reading was on joy. And I struggled a bit with joy for obvious reasons. And I just want to reach out to you now and tell you there's a song of creation at the center of your soul. And that is your song of joy. And if you're not hearing it, find somebody who knows you and loves you and can sing that song to you. Whatever it sounds like, whatever it looks like, please. And if you have somebody in your life that you're not hearing their song of joy, then reach out to them and sing their song of joy to them. So that's my soapbox, and I'm not getting off that one. All right, beloveds, I'm going to send you out into the world with these words. There is one life, one power, one presence, one love. And that love flows in me, through me, as me, just as I know that it flows through each and every one of you. That you are that love made manifest in this world. It is you who makes this love possible. It is you who makes this love tangible. It is you who makes this love concrete. That love is who you are. That love is who we are. And it is an inexhaustible supply coming from a source that knows nothing else. Spirit is love. And we are individualized centers of that spirit, individualized centers of that love. And each and every one of us is important right here, right now. And so as we go out and sing our song of creation, our song of joy, we make such a clamor in this world that the world wakes up in joy. And I know this, and I know this with gratitude. And I am a scintillating yes, just as I know that each and every one of you are a scintillating yes. And I release my word now into law, knowing it is done, even as I speak these words. And so it is.
Say with me now, something wonderful is happening through me.
Something wonderful is happening through me.
I feel it in my body.
I feel it in my body.
I feel it in my mind.
I feel it in my mind.
I feel it in everything I am.
I feel it in everything I am.
I choose it.
I choose it.
I trust it.
I trust it.
I use it.
I use it.
And I love it.
And I love
And
it.
so it is.
So it is.